Hello. Is the audio okay? OBS is reporting a lot of errors, to be honest. So I'm kind of scared. It's like having 10 errors per minute. Hello, Jackie. How are you doing? Yeah, okay. Fine. I don't know what's going on with the OBS thing. Hold on. I'm gonna just open the changelog from BlockBench so I can read all the thing and then we are gonna start. By the way, is my voice okay with the background music? Or it's too low, high, or something? Yeah. It's okay. I'm gonna... Hold on. Yep. Here we go. Yeah, it was intentional. I was keeping the loading screen to avoid any screen picking at the job. All the things I'm doing for a living. Or the NDA stuff, so yeah. And all the presets about OBS and stuff. Yeah, it was intentional. Hello. Welcome to the stream, guys. How are you doing? Okay, good. That's really for me. Okay, we are in BlockBench beta 3.7. It's the second one, the one I'm using currently. Hello, G. Yeah, it's a cute bunny made by Elsewhere. It's the art director at Game of One. I work with him with other stuff, even with Blocktober. So yeah, I asked him and he had this little bunny. So yeah. I'm currently, as I was saying, like one. Yeah, actually, I should do that, but at the same time, I hate having multiple accounts to my PC. So yeah, since I'm not streaming that much, and it's only picking the BlockBench. So if I close BlockBench currently, you are not able to see my desktop, so it's fine. And BlockBench has this feature, well, Wacky knows for sure knows this feature of streaming. So when you're streaming, you can see all the start stuff, if you can see, yeah. So I'm okay with NDA stuff. Currently I'm, as I was saying, in beta 2. I don't know if we have a beta 3 currently. I don't think so, honestly. And there was a bunch of errors with the iKey, and Janice fixed them. Hello, Frelzet? Dang it, what about you? Yeah, we expect that. Wacky knows everything, pretty much. I don't know how much delay I have currently. I think quite a bit. I didn't know that. Oh. Can I change it? Don't think so, honestly. Oh yeah, I can't. Oh, too bad. Okay, well, we are having quite a bit of delay, honestly. So yeah, I'm sorry if I don't answer you or your question as soon as you write them. I think most of the people are used because streamers don't read normally. So yeah, I'm gonna try my best to answer everything, clear everything, and try everything. Okay, currently beta 3.7 is quite good. The only problem is it's not a problem. The iKey feature is kinda good and bad at the same time. I really want to do more with the key, but inverse kinematic is already pretty hard in other software because, for example, in Blender, if you play around with rigs, you know that FK, forward kinematic, and inverse kinematic together are quite messy. So riggers are very good when creating rigs with iKey and FKey inside. Currently, the iKey is quite buggy, as I was saying. I want to dig into that because I want to give some suggestion to Yanis, or at least try that and see if Yanis know how to fix this thing, or how to change the iKey, or how it works. Other things are quite good, honestly. Yeah. Okay, let's go. I was talking too much, honestly. So, majority of the feature in 3.7, if you haven't read all the changelog, are animation related stuff. I have particles currently, not under NDA, so I can feature all the things in particles and sounds currently. This tab, the effect tab, if you create a new animation, okay, fancy new stuffs. If you create a new animation, you have the possibility to add effects, and you can add particles, and it's quite a good thing, honestly, because you can see particles directly in BlockBench, and it was quite neat. It is quite neat. So yeah, currently I'm not gonna use that. It's quite good. I've tried to use that while working, honestly, because I'm currently using this version of BlockBench to work, doing all the backups. I don't suggest you to start working with this version, because beta version are quite stable normally with BlockBench list, but at the same time you might encounter some weird stuff. So you might work for hours, then save the file, and found that it's not saved. It happens. It's okay, it's fine, because it's a beta, it's not a release. We try to avoid this stuff normally until the release, but I decided to start looking into that. So yeah. Okay, so I wanted to change a single thing for now, because this model was made way before iKey, fkey, and all the stuff. Can I? Okay, it's rotated. Yeah, I remember them. And I used them while working, so they weren't bad, but yeah, I wouldn't suggest to just put them and work with them all day long. Okay, so I'm gonna move those harm, because I need to have 0 rotation on the bones for this thing. Yeah, it's fine. So I'm currently I'm trying to explain what I'm doing. I want to create an iKey bone, and I need to add an iKey, but with rotated bones. The iKey is doing some weird stuff. It's doing normally quite weird stuffs, but yeah, with rotated bones even more. So yeah. I want to do that only on one of the 2 arms for now. I'm gonna see later if I want to apply that to all the parts. My suggestion so far is to check if the pivot are aligned with a key. It's something I noticed while working, so yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yep. 1. Okay, should be fine. Yeah, that's the key. Quite neat, honestly. Okay, so I'm gonna check all the things in the changelog. So if you want to follow me along, just open the changelog. So yeah, experimental inverse kinematic in animation mode. This thing, this one, the iKey bones are currently available only on animation. So yeah, they are only useful pretty much on animations, but yeah, if you are working with other version of the game, like the Java edition hasn't the animation, and so you wouldn't see all the feature in BlockBench 3.7, or most of them list. So yeah, the iKey to make it happen, you need to select a bone and enable iKey, and then say how many bones of the parents are gonna follow this point, this bone. So currently I have the arm left and stop, because the end is pair with the iKey bone. So if I want to move something, I can move the arm left. Setting this to 1, it's gonna move only this pawn, as you can see. But if I set this to 2, it's gonna affect also the chest, because here the chest, here is the arm left, then the body. So yeah, if I move now, you can see that it's moving the chest. I haven't done this rig, I haven't modified that. It could be improved, but yeah, I didn't want to change anything for now. I'm probably gonna work on that while doing this stream. I'm not gonna create an animation. I'm just gonna experiment with this stuff. So as you can see, the key is kind of weird currently, because it doesn't return to the initial position when moving this way, as you can see. So yeah, that's a big problem. But yeah, for most of the stuff, it can be used. For example, this. You can do that by using this, but as you can see, if I want to move the arm right here, I need to move all this, and sometimes it's a bit tricky to get the right position, but in this way you can just move this object in front here. Here we go, and you have the arm in this position. So the I key is kind of useful. I think I'm gonna apply that on most of the rigs at work, because I think it's quite neat, especially if I want to have a precise movement. I want to move to there, okay, well, bugs, okay. I want to move to here, and then I want to adjust a tiny bit the position. I can do by using the gizmo on the bone directly. So yeah, it's kind of useful. This was the I key function currently. On the beta one was a bit funky. On the beta 2, which is the current one, it's much more stable, honestly. It's almost useful, almost. So yeah, that's quite interesting, in my opinion. Yeah, look at the rotation. I think I stressed Yanis with this because I've said that most of the time. I say that local position and local rotation are super useful, but yeah, they are not available currently. So yeah, that's the big problem. But as you can see, the I key can do most of the work you could do with local rotation. So yeah, you can pretty much see exactly where you want to put the arm in the space. So in my opinion, at least, this is purely an opinion. Okay, if I move this pawn, hold on a second. Okay, if I want to move the this pawn to another position like this, I want these to move here. Honestly, this is the problem with all this IK system, is that this pawn is trying to stay with this. But when you have more than one pawn in this IK length, in this chain, you're gonna experience weird stuff. That's because this point is not moving to this point where I'm going. So yeah, that's the main issue I think I have with the key currently. Can be solved, and most of the time on Minecraft list, you're gonna use it with just one keychain, and it's useful for that. But yeah, if I want to move, for example, this bone outside, like here, around here, the bone is gonna stay in this position instead. So yeah, that's the thing I hate most, and the problem I have with a key currently. But yeah, as I was saying, this system is good for Minecraft list. So yeah, this is the key. You can activate that from here, and you can also let me check. Yeah, it's next. Added colorable keyframes. So yeah, you can mark a color and say, yeah, this is gonna be green, red. I'm sorry, I'm blind. I'm colorblind. Okay, this is gonna be red. If I add another keyframe, let me move. Okay, this keyframe, it's gonna be green. Okay, you are gonna see red and green, and it's kind of useful because when you have a timeline with a lot of keyframes, most of the time you don't know what a keyframe is doing. So color code is very useful, even if for colorblind people are not as happy as me. But yeah, especially with red and green. Okay, let me change that really quickly. Okay. Yeah, okay. With the blue and red, for example. You are able to see exactly this and understand, okay, this is the end of the animation, this is the end of this action. Because if I'm doing like this, you are gonna see that, yeah, it's red, and it's the first position, it's the second position, and this is the third position, but it's exactly the red one. And it's very useful. I think that stands on the workflow of anybody. So yeah, in my workflow list, it's very useful. If I want to add a keyframe here, for example, okay, you're gonna see this thing, which is the trail of where the bone, or at least the pivot point of the bone passed. So for example, if I want to keep this locked, I want to always see this trajectory. I can lock that, and every time I select a bone, even if I select this, I'm gonna see, yeah, here you can see the trail, which is where it's going to move the bone. Very useful. I don't know, I'm going outside. Yeah, this is much later in the changelog, but yeah, very useful. I think it's super useful with AI key in combination, because here you can see where the arm is moving, but here, if I select this trail, as you can see, the pivot is not moving, so I'm not having any trail. I'm gonna have the trail only if this moves, like this. As you can see the trail, but since the arm is pivoting exactly in this position, the trail is not gonna show. So yeah, that's the limitation of the trail. I think it's still useful, but yeah, I would love to select a point and say, okay, where is going this point? For example, this hand, and modify from the hand directly the position of this, because the trail here, if I select this, I want to change a position of this trail, I can't. But if I move this pawn again, like here, then here, and then again here, okay, as you can see, you can see this point in space, clicking to it, you can go to that time position and adjust the values, for example doing this, and you can see this in real time. That's quite useful, but at the same time, as I was saying, if I want to move with rotation, with it is the most useful thing in animation, you are not seeing any trail. Yeah, except for here. Okay, still. Yeah, also the trail, the bigger problem I have with the trail is that when I select here, for example, to rotate, it's gonna deselect the bone, so you are not able to see the trail, where I think that when it's locked, you should at least see that all the time, because it would be super useful to just move around and see, okay, the trail is doing some weird stuff, and modify the bone related to the trail and see if that change. For example, I use a lot the trail when moving weapons, for example the swords, because I need to have very precise movements, and I don't want the sword or the weapon in general to move too much around, because otherwise you are not believing the animation. So yeah, the big problem for the weapons list is to have the rotation correctly, and the trail is super useful for that. Okay, so this is the trail. It's much later in the changelog, but still. There are new properties or a dialog list for the properties of the animation. So if I want to create an animation, before you just create an animation, okay, and that's all. Okay, number one. And you were able to see the animation here, but not you wasn't able to change any control, and you were able just adjusting the values inside here. But now currently, if I want to go in properties, I have this panel, which is very useful because you can see this is the snapping value. So if I do, for example, 30, with it is a very low number, if I go and this, you can see that the snapping position is much larger now. So if I want to create a keyframe here, there are a lot less frame between one and the other. But if I change the, for example, okay, this is the movement currently, okay, the snapping. If I change that to 200, confirm, I can move very precisely the keyframe. So yeah, that's neat. It was something you could adjust. You could have adjusted in the properties before. It was there in settings. But yeah, it's more useful directly in the animation properties, and it's more related, I think. Also, you can have multiple snapping for each animation. So yeah, that's neat. Also, you can now select from here, I think from a couple version now, play once, hold on last frame, and loop. Hold on last frame is super useful. So yeah, back to this. We have this panel where you can say the name of the animation, where in the folders you're gonna save this. Currently, yeah, it's blank, but yeah, if you have a directory, it's gonna show there. And then play once, hold on last frame and loop, as we were saying before. Override, okay, it was able to, we were able already to select this before. And here's the big thing, in my opinion, which is the animation time update and blend weight. The blend weight is how much the animation is gonna blend with the other animation inside the same entity file. So for example, if I have an entity file and I'm gonna add an animation like the run animation and then create another animation, I want them to interact together, for example. This is the blend weight. How much the animation is gonna impact the other animation. If it's 100, you are gonna see all the animation overlap on the other one. But instead, if you have any other value, it's like the opacity on like Photoshop or the paint mode, for example. If you have another color underneath, you're gonna see a mix of the two colors. So yeah, that's the blend weight. And the animation time update was a thing that not many people knows, but you can change the time of the animation. This is super useful, for example, when you have vehicles, because you want to see the vehicles move at this exact same speed as the wheels are spinning. So yeah, that's the way to go normally. You can update the time depending on queries and variables in game, and it's super useful to connect the animation to the in-game stuff. So yeah, here we were able to set this value before. We were able to set this value directly in BlockBench, but we weren't able to see it running in BlockBench. So for example, if I do a simple animation with a key, okay, I'm gonna show the example in a minute. Okay, this one here. This one here. Yeah, exactly. Fake root motions are usable now with the blend weight. And yeah, it was already in game. We were able to do that, but we weren't able to adjust the values directly in BlockBench and see the value change in BlockBench. Currently, I'm gonna create this animation, which is very simple animation. As you can see, this is the speed of the animation, but I need to find the code. Give me a second. Okay, I have it somewhere because it's very useful as a thing. I guess before. Okay, here. This formula, I think Dragon Master wrote this long time ago, but this formula, for example, is saying that the animation time and the delta time between one keyframe to the other is halved. So 0.5, it's gonna halve the speed of the animation, and if I do that, you can see it's much slower. But if I go, for example, on 0.05, which is much slower, you are able to see, yeah, this is in-game directly. This is the look it's gonna have in-game. Variable, on the other hand, is not played, I think. I'm gonna see. Let me check. For example, if I want to move this on query, which is very useful because I'm saying that this is gonna move only if this query modified move speed is the entity is moving. So if the entity is moving, it's gonna play the animation, otherwise it's not gonna. And also it's gonna affect the speed of the animation in this way. I'm not sure if, yeah, okay, it's set a value. But if I go and set a variable, okay, and set okay, this for your information is a place where you can set variables and have values. For example, in this case, I'm gonna set this to 0.05. Okay, it's gonna affect directly the in-game, as you can see. So if you want to see the animation playing at a certain time, this is the way. This is the way to go. It's much better now. You can see directly. It wasn't able, we weren't able to see directly in BlockBench the speed of the animation change because of the animation time. But now, yeah, you can. And you can also check this with values, which is very cool, honestly. Yeah, super cool. Okay, I'm sorry. That's a good feature, I think. That's a super useful feature. I'm an animator at Game Mode 1 and also a tech animator, so I also add the animation in game, and so yeah, this is super useful. I'm using this feature already in game for many animation, most of them, but yeah, this is gonna take me a lot less time to see and visualize the animation. Also, I think in the change log, it was changed that the animation now runs at the current speed because it's using the computer clock instead. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. I really want to break this system, but I'm sure I won't be able to. But yeah, let's try. Okay, I want to rotate this. Okay, currently I'm writing a function, a simple sine wave function, where I say that the x values is the time I can see. I can write this like this, I think. It's the time multiplied by 300. And then I want the magnitude of the wave to be 20, so it's gonna go from plus 20 to minus 20. So yeah, let's see. Okay, let's go a bit higher, like this. Okay, a bit higher. Okay, this. I want to run this animation for a while and see if it's gonna slow down, because I haven't tried that. But before, if you take any version of BlockBench with the animation tab, of course, if you do this, at some point your computer is gonna slow down and the animation is gonna slow down. So yeah, let's see. I think it's gonna skip the frames to keep calculating, or I don't know. I really have no idea how this was implemented, but currently it's good at 60 seconds from the start. Hold on. Yes, confirm. Yes. Okay, I'm seeing skipping frames, at least in my opinion, looks like, but it's not slowing down. So yeah, that's really good. Benchmark time. We need Dima for that. Yeah, it's good. Normally, my computer list, it's also streaming, so it would be faster, I think, to break the system. Around 100 seconds, the animation was pretty much to 0 FPS. So yeah, it's good now. This was a big change, at least for me, because I use a lot of sine wave function and lots of function in general, and I like to have subtle movement for a long time, like 100 seconds, 200 seconds. And so yeah, around 200 seconds, my BlockBench was able to run at 2 frames per second, which is really bad. For animation is bad. Yeah, it's good. Totally good. Okay, this was another thing. For the benchmark, we need Dima for that. Voxel are gonna the only benchmark we cannot accept is the Lagfox and Dima's model. Okay. So yeah, I talked about the blend weight thing. I think it's not visible because you need multiple enemies. Oh, maybe it's visible. Let me see. Good question. What about this? Okay, let me see. Okay, this is done. Okay, let's see. This is currently. I want to see if changing the blend weight is gonna change anything. Like 5%. Okay, it's gonna change. It's not in percentage. I was reminding wrong. I think it's from 0 to 1 done. So 0.05. Okay, yeah. As you can see, the trail is not gonna change, which is yeah, but it's gonna be less prominent. Is prominent a word in English? Okay, if I go on 0.5, which is 50%, as you can see, it goes from here to there. And if we see the trail, which is here, okay, weird. The trail is here now because of the blend, but it's not there. Okay, that's weird. I think it's not tilting me that much, but I think it's good to report. Yeah. Bunny is going crazy. Totally. Poor Bunny. Okay, let's stop him. Poor Bunny. Yeah, okay. Gonna delete these animations so the poor bunny stay clean. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, it's super useful, the I key on single bone. Yep. Okay, good. So back here where the bunny is not dying for some reason. Yeah, I'm gonna report anyway. I usually, even when I work, I try to give good reports because I think they are more useful, giving more videos and stuffs. So the developer or animator, modeler is gonna see better what the problem is and what caused the problem. So yeah, I think it's more useful, at least in my opinion. Before, in beta number 1, moving an I key bone was able to set a keyframe here. It's not the case anymore. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but to me it's better. That's something I noticed right now. And another thing is super useful and good is this. Okay, now it's called unsaved. But if you have a file, if you have multiple animation and multiple files for each entity, which is, by the way, the normality, even Minecraft does that, which is kind of weird because Minecraft does so many things wrong with animations, but yeah, that's another problem. You have multiple files and multiple animation for each entity. So if you have a model and you are working directly in the directory of the files, you have, for example, this is an entity from a project. So I have this model, the texture, the entity file, and the animation ready. If you put them in BlockBench, BlockBench is gonna call directly all the animation file, which is super useful, but sometimes it's a bit bad because you're gonna end up with so many files and so many animations. So yeah, I wish this feature. I don't think it's you are able to not do that or make the BlockBench don't search for the animations, but it's useful too because I can see where you don't know what animations are in this entity and you want to just drag the model there and see the animation running. It's useful. It's very useful. I wish the game, the BlockBench list, was able to take the variables from the entity file and put them here, but yeah, it's nothing yet. But yeah, if you have multiple files, you're gonna see this. This is one file, unsaved in this case. If you have another file, for example, let's call this bunny. You have bunny and unsaved. Actually, I'm gonna, yeah, let's do this. Hey, save, okay. This is called A now. If I create another animation and say, okay, I don't want to set in A file, I want to set this on B file. Yeah, I need to create a file for that, I think. Okay, let me create the file. Are you, okay, give me a second. I'm gonna fix that, I saw that. New text document. Okay, rename b.json. Yes, okay. Now I have created, give me a second. Okay, it's visible now, I think yes. Okay, now I created a file called B, which is this. And if I create a new animation, here you can see file A.json and file B.json. You can save individual files, because this is this mark is to let you know that this is saved. If I click here, okay, I'm gonna save that too. So if I create another animation like this, number 2, okay, you're gonna see that, okay, this is unsaved. But if I save that in B, you're gonna see that in B, which is super useful because you are gonna see also the file where they come from. So yeah, delete and delete. The only problem, as you were seeing, is that when I click here, I want to, for example, set a file and create a new one. I need to go in Explorer, create a new file, create a txt file, rename it with JS1, and then I can create a new animation, which is bad in my opinion. I wish you could create a file directly from here, because it would be super useful, and add the files from here directly from BlockBench without exiting the program and go on File Explorer. So yeah, that was it with this feature. Okay, let's delete. Okay, back here where the bunny is still alive. Okay, so that's most of them. There are a lot of features. I think it's the biggest update BlockBench had in a while, but I'm not sure because even the paint update was quite large. So yeah, it's quite large as update. I think we are gonna see other feature too, and yeah, a better implementation for some of them, I think. Especially day key, which is Giannis is working hard on that, so I can see that coming. Okay, so better. Okay, I said that the bedrock animation are already imported. If I open a file from a directory with the entity folder, the animation folder, the model folder, and so on, if I open a model inside BlockBench, BlockBench is gonna search all the files that this animation is composed by. So if I have models if I open the model, the JS1 of the model, not the BlockBench extension, if you open that, okay, that was from some update ago, but now opening the model, you can choose what texture directly in BlockBench you are using, and now it's importing also the animation, so it's kind of neat. And yeah, I was saying this. Now, animation can now maintain bones that do not exist in the current model. This was a problem before. So if I create an animation with this bunny and I animate this, which is the tail, but if I wanted to use all these animations to another model without the tail, if I re-import all the animations I made with the bunny, but with the tail animations, all the tail animation were overwritten. So yeah, you weren't able to see any more the animations, not only in BlockBench, but also in game, because they were deleted entirely. So now this is fixed finally, which is quite good, quite neat. Waveform, okay, I can't show that, I'm sorry. Still with the particle effect, you have particle effect here, you can have also sounds. So if you select the sound, I think the thing is that with the particle, if you want to add a particle, currently I haven't any particle to show you, but if you want to add a particle, you can create a particle in another file, like in Snowstorm. You can call it any way you want, and you write that here. So this is the name of the effect. So if I create, for example, a particle for the fire, if I create that particle, I'm gonna call that fire. I'm gonna write that here, this is fire, for example, and then select from here the file I'm referring, and there you are gonna be able to see all the animation of the particles, which is neat. Super useful. And the same thing goes with the sound effect. Here the name of the sound, and there, clicking here, you can explore the files in your directory and search the file and implement it. And I don't think I have a sound currently. Yeah, I don't have a sound, but you are able to see the waveform, which is neat. So yeah, that's a good update on them. Then modern syntax alighting. This thing, you were able to see that before when I was writing the function. Okay, let's come back here. If I write here, I can see, for example, here, this is gonna highlight what are you doing. This is super useful when you have complex function, for example, mathsin, time, okay, no, query dot time multiplied by this multiplied by math exp. Hold on a second. Per, okay, time still. Okay, if you have something like this, -2, no. Okay, something like this one, this animation here, you can see the animation is running. Okay, it's fine. Perfect. Plus 20. Okay. Too much. 10. Okay. You're gonna see the animation running, and also you can see you are able to recognize everything. Before it was like a long white line, which is, yeah, kinda bad. But now you are able to define, oh, that's a number, that's a math function from Molang, that's a query or a variable, that's an operator, that's a comma, and that's a parenthesis. So yeah, you are able to recognize everything with the colors now, which is super useful. I think you can go on different level. Okay, here the animation is still running correctly, but you are gonna see this divided, so you can easily write that in this space, which is super useful because you can have if function, which I discovered now that most VIPs and pros in the BlockBench chat doesn't know about. So yeah, you can create if function. So I am saying that if the time which is in seconds, I think it's greater than 2. So 2 seconds right here, maybe go on 4. Okay, if it's greater than 4, I'm gonna set this to 90 degrees, else it's gonna stay on 0. So if you can see that it's on 2, it's on 4. Yeah, what? Fail! Oh, what's wrong? Okay, maybe it's not recognized anymore, which would be super weird. Yeah, it's weird. If I set this to a equals 0, if I set that to 9, okay, 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 maybe, just maybe, I was correct before. I just didn't notice that. So yeah. Let's try again. Okay, yeah, this. So if you have Molang function here, you can write that like this, and you can see that, for example, that's time. Okay, if it's less than 4, yep, you can see that. It's super useful. You're gonna be able to see the if function much better. This is the if function in Molang. So if you have this condition, if it's true, it's gonna run this condition, else it's gonna run this 0. So if it's smaller than 4, you're gonna see 0. Then you're gonna see, if it's greater, you're gonna see this function. So yeah, super useful. Okay, we covered most of them, I think. So animation now supports automatically detect individual snapping settings. Okay, so the snap setting I was talking before, it's set automatically. If you move a keyframe to an illegal position, like 2 frames after that, if I'm saying that, the next keyframe is here. But if I want to go in between this, I just say something like this. I'm sorry, wrong point. This is 0.01, so this is 0.005. It's gonna, yeah, snap to this point, but yeah, that's the snapping settings. I think it's weird. I thought that it was there before already, but yeah, never noticed that. Okay, so this. Then the animation playback, I said that it's now in real time, and if the game BlockBench list is lagging, you're not gonna have any problem with that. Animation playback, okay. Added action to jump back and forth in the timeline. Okay, if you go in the settings, preference settings, which is, by the way, this version is under preferences. Before it was just settings here instead, but you can see that in preferences you can go in settings, key bindings, and themes. So I'm gonna go in key bindings, but yeah, you can go anywhere directly in settings. If I go here, I can go in keybinds directly, but here is the shortcut, so good, super good to have that. Okay, let's change that. Okay, so and the new key bindings in the animations, you can see that there are quite a few now. Most of them are unsetted. I set some of them, but yeah, page down. This is unselected normally. This is my shortcut to bring up all the animations that have a keyframe. This, so I can see them directly and close all the others. Unused bones I opened for mistake, for example. So yeah, this, I was saying that now we have a bunch more of options here, and most importantly, in my opinion at least, the command point. So before, I think it's not still not on default options, but you could go on previous keyframe and next keyframe. I bind that to left and right keys because that's the options in After Effects. I think yes. I think it was in After Effects, and I was quite used to do that. So left and right, for me at least, I can go from the previous keyframe to the next one. So if I have another keyframe here and I press the left and right, that was there before, you can select the single keyframe, the next one. Otherwise, now with these two new options that, by the way, are default command point, you can jump just of one frame. And you can see that I'm just moving of one frame at a time. So So if, for example, I have this, okay. Okay. So this, if I have this, I can move now by single frame, which is super useful. Okay, that's the new shortcuts that are defaults. I want to study a bit more about all the others. Like here, there are a bunch of them that I haven't set, which, yeah, they might be useful in future. I don't know. I want to try them all. You have a bunch of IK one, for example, and other like clear timeline, which might be cool if you want to delete all the keyframes in a timeline. And yeah, if you really want to speed up your workflow, go here, and in any settings, you can see all of them here. And you have a bunch of new keybinds you can set. Some of them are already there and you might don't know about them, and they might be super useful for you for your workflow. So yeah, it's highly suggested to check this. And yeah, animation playback, as I was saying, a deduction. At the smooth interpolation, this smooth interpolation option is super useful for people that are not in Minecraft. So as you can see from this curve, this is now smoother. As it was before, it was linear, and as you can see, this is an art break here. So yeah, if you have linear interpolation, which is the standard in Minecraft, unfortunately, all the movements were super robotic and quite hard. Now you can choose to set all the keyframes, selecting them all to smooth, and you are gonna see this instead, which is the calmul-rom function, I think, which is an interpolation function. This is gonna be a feature in the next Minecraft update, as far as I know. I'm not sure about that though, but this feature is currently in beta and is I think it's out of experimental, but might be in experimental currently. But yeah, it was confirmed that it's gonna it's gonna arrive to Minecraft, and probably everybody is not gonna use anymore linear interpolation, and use all the smooth function instead, because it's much better. As you can see, this is the smooth one, this is the linear one. Super better. And yeah, you can select one only keyframe. You can see that the keyframe on the smooth interpolation is gonna be rounded, but if I want the linear interpolation, right click on them, by the way, you have this, which is a square. So yeah, smooth interpolation, this is for it. As you can see, yeah, it's not changing here. If I go on linear interpolation here, this, as you can see, yeah, this is linear interpolation. Okay, so that's pretty much all, I think. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's useful to have one at least, because currently you can also you can only use linear interpolation. But yeah, I think I prefer more to change the curve using handles, so a spline curve better, because I think the spline curve gives a bit more of flexibility in animation, and I much prefer that, honestly. But in Minecraft you can't use that, so you are able just to use this function and maybe adjust that a bit to look better. For example, this. If I move this point here or here, okay, it's gonna slow down a bit and then move faster. So you can kinda go on other easing types in this way, but yeah, it's yeah, a bit strange in my opinion. At least we have one function, one easing function. But yeah, that's I think all for this. I know that might be strange, but yeah, you have now discontinuous. Oh, this is super useful too. So before, if I wanted a keyframe to be like okay, let's go here. Okay, if I wanted to have a discontinuous keyframe, before I wasn't able to do that in BlockBench, nor to use that in BlockBench. So if you have thanks, Maki. Really, thank you. I don't think there are a lot of people in chat. I haven't seen. I'm not seeing the analytics currently, but yeah, seeing on the interaction. I think I wanted to create this stream mostly for to keep that and share that with Yanis or anybody that want to take part in this beta, in this public beta. Thank you, Nature. By the way, how are you doing, guys? Really, I'm saying that from the beginning of the stream, and nobody, literally, maybe Jeko, maybe one answered me. So yeah. As I was saying before, you weren't able to create yeah, there are only 4 people. Well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, say 6. It's fine, literally. I don't want to have too many people because I'm not able to control them all. Or at least have a conversation with them all. I wanted to create this stream, as I was saying, as a video to introduce people to this beta and to make them explore more. I'm probably gonna stream more in the future, but yeah, currently is what I can do. As I was saying for the second time, or third, maybe third. Say 7 now. Wow, increasing. What the fuck? Hello, new people in the chat, or at least watching. And Jeko, please don't create other alt accounts and make them watch the stream, please. Okay, so I was saying before, if I wanted to create a pre and post animation, which is a discontinuous keyframe, I wasn't able to create it in BlockBench, nor to use that in BlockBench. So if you were able to import an animation with discontinuous keyframe, yeah, I'm gonna show that with discontinuous keyframes. I wasn't able to import that on BlockBench, and they were totally deleted. So currently I can just click here on the plus icon and have a pre-animation and post-animation. So the pre-animation is before this point, as the if before this point I want this to go on 0 or maybe 20, minus 20, yeah, better. Okay, I want to have this on minus 20. So if I go frame by frame, okay, if I go frame by frame, as you can see, before this keyframe, you're gonna see that the arm is gonna stay on 20 degrees. But on this keyframe, if you go on the other side, you're gonna see that it's minus 90 degrees instantly. So you have no interpolation between this point. It's from one frame to the other. You have this continuous keyframe. And it's super useful if you have multiple animation or multiple rotation going on. Quite niche in my opinion, because most of the cases you don't need this. You can just have a new function, or for example having something like this. Let's go minus 20. Nope. This, okay. Let's go minus 20. Okay. If I go quite near it on the next keyframe and go on 90, you can see that the effect is almost identical. Almost. You have a slight change, because if I, for example, go on this, hold on a second. Yes, this, and say okay, creating a variable, variable 1, 0.005, the animation is gonna be super slow, and as you can see, there's a time between this. But if, for example, I create a keyframe like this with a pre and post, no matter how slow your animation goes, you have an instantaneous movement from one frame to the other, as you can see. Yeah, no matter how slow the animation goes. So yeah, that's a good thing. I haven't used that before much, but being that on BlockBench directly, I noticed that it was kind of useful in the workflow I have a list while working. But yeah, it's very niche. I think Yanis used that more. But yeah, super useful. When you have that, you can simply use that and create no problem, because from one frame to the other, you're gonna see this. Hold on. Okay, as you can see. Yeah, so neat. That was pretty much all, because all the other changes are, most of them, at least, not related with animations. Yeah, they are miscellaneous. Some transparency thing I'm seeing. Is there anything you want to see more? I mean, I made this stream to just explore the new feature, but if you want to see more about a feature, just ask, so I can. Otherwise, I'm gonna close the stream. But if you are curious about something, you have any question, or you want to try something, Just ask. I'm here. I'm begging you. Waiting for the chat. So yeah, I think this update is super good for animators. Don't know about modelers, but if you are a modeler and you're looking for a job, most of the time I think it's important to present all your models with a pose. And the pose is better to have it in animation mode or have a simple animation, so you can impress more your client or your clients, showing them a better model, or the model, for example, with animation, which is the scope of a model in Minecraft list. I would love to see more stream. Thanks, Nature. Thanks, really. I'm gonna stream more. Not now. Currently, I'm super busy with stuffs I have going on in my life. So yeah, then also Corona. So yeah, it's a bit impossible for me currently because I live in my parents' house. So I don't want to disturb them too much with the stream, because my room is the biggest in the house. So kind of for my decision and for their decision, we use that as like warehouse. So most of the stuffs in my house, in my apartment, in my current apartment, are in my room. And if I start streaming, I don't want my mom to enter the room and see this. I would like it would be cringe, totally cringe, and also it would be noisy. So yeah, it's the big problem why I'm not streaming. I want to stream more, by the way. Okay, back to Jeko. I might have missed because I was going. Yeah, the blend 3 thing in animation settings. Okay, so I don't know much about that. Yeah, I'm sorry. The stream delay is quite big. I noticed that. I'm sorry. Then also, I'm quite bad. No, I'm sorry, Jacob. I'm sorry. There's a big delay and I want to read all the things. So, yeah, sorry. The blend thing. The blend thing, I haven't checked that honestly in game. But as far as I know, if you have multiple animations, currently I have just one, make me create another animation. Okay. And I create an animation like this. Okay. Okay, strange animation. Okay, it's fine. Okay. If I have this animation and this animation, which is currently nothing. Okay. This animation. Okay. This, let's move this to something more like this. Okay. Let's loop this and add this. Okay, as you can see, these are gonna sum together, but loop. Okay, if I want to decrease how much this animation is impacting on the other animation, I want to reduce this by, for example, 20%, okay, it's gonna impact this much. So the animation is much less, the amplitude of the animation is much smaller, and it's summing with the other animation. So this is the 20% of the animation done. So all the values are shrinked by 80%, and they are summed with the other animation. The values, as far as I know, in Minecraft goes from 0 to 1, which is good because it's like normality. There are so many things not normal in Minecraft. So yeah, at this moment the animation is running 20%, but if I go on 6%, 60%, confirm, as you can see, it's much more prominent. And if I go on, for example, 2, which is double the value, you're gonna see the animation doubled. Not in length, but in the values. So this value, for example, is this 122.5. This values is double. So if I set it to 200% too, I'm gonna have 245. But if I blend this with a value of 0.5, this is gonna be 60, 62, 60, 61 and something. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna see that it's much smaller, the movement. I don't know if I'm gonna play that, just that, okay? It's running the 0.5% anyway. I'm not sure if this is the behavior in Minecraft. I haven't used that. And normally I shrink the animation using the values directly on the animation itself, because when you are implementing the animation, I'm gonna have an implementation stream at some point in the future, but when you are implementing the animation in game, you're gonna put the animation in an animation controller, and you can modify the animation from there. So if you set the value of the animation directly from the animation controller to be 2, it's gonna double the number, the maximum value of each keyframe, and also it's double the speed, which is good because you're gonna see faster animation or smaller animation and slower animation together. But yeah, this is a good option too. I also love to use a lot the animation time update for this reason, because I can shrink the animation and then multiply by 2 the animation itself. So the animation time update, it's gonna make the animation slower. I'm gonna make in the animation controller the animation faster, and the amplitude of the animation is gonna be doubled too. So yeah, quite strange. Could be used. I've never used that before, honestly, so I don't know what I'm talking about exactly. But yeah, it's like if you think about that, it's like have the opacity on another layer. So if you have ever used Photoshop, GIMP, or any other program to edit photos, you have 2 images. One of them is in background and one is in front. If you set the opacity on the one in front, you're gonna be able to see the animation on the back a bit more. This is the blend weight. Pretty much it, at least. Anyone know if Yanis is planning on writing docs of okay, so these stuffs are not from BlockBench. They are actually from Minecraft itself. So the big problem is that we have documentation from Minecraft. They are not the best one out there. So most of the time, these things are just tested from people like me, Yanis, or Waki, or I don't know. There are a bunch of cool people out there who tries to understand these stuffs, and then they create tutorials online. There's a popular site which I'm gonna link, actually. Give me a second. This popular site is bedrock.dev. There is documentation. This site is gonna take all the documentation directly from the site, but putting it on a better page, because it's much better. You can visualize better. If you can see, the official site is quite bad, honestly. You have all the information around, and it's hard to navigate. This is quite good and used by anybody, everybody, I'm sorry. You can see there's also a wiki, which is currently maintained by people around the world. They are trying all the stuffs, and they try the stuffs and create a wiki about them. Okay, the IKey specific, yeah, it's BlockBench. It's totally BlockBench. Okay, if you I don't know if you were already in the stream when I explained that, but yeah, I think I'm gonna create a tutorial about them. Release small videos, I think. They are manageable. Smaller video with a simple explanation about one thing, about, for example, the properties or the IKey, so people can understand what they are doing. I think the IKey is quite soon at the moment to expect that Yanis created documentation about that. It's too soon. So yeah, I don't expect that to come at the moment, and I expect that Yanis is waiting for creators like me or other animators to play around with the software, have a feedback, and then modify the A key, modify all these features to better accommodate all the workflows out there. And so yeah, I'm not expecting any wiki from Yanis. I'm probably gonna create something on that, because there's so many people being confused on how to activate the inverse kinematic. I was like, when I first opened the software, I know exactly what to change, because I use animations all day long. So if I see something different in the animation tab, I can notice that. But I can see that people are not gonna play much around with animation as much, for example, with all the edit stuff. So I can see that they were confused about how to set inverse kinematic, what was the length, or how to enable that. But yeah, I can create a video. I think also other creators in the past have created videos about them, about things similar to this, and shared in the BlockBench Discord, which is super useful, because even I don't know everything. I really don't know everything, but people that know what they are doing or know more than me know where to change things, so you can follow them and then understand what's going on and try yourself, essentially. So yeah, the inverse kinematic thing, for example, I set this to 1, for example, because you can see that the chain is except for this cube, this. So it's gonna move only the parent, the one parent right above the firstborn. But if I want to play around with this, I can set this to 2 and I'm gonna see weird stuff happening. If I want to be even more crazy, I can move that to 3 and see thing changes. Or I can set this to 4, and at some point, I think to 4, okay, it's gonna break a lot. 5, it's gonna, okay, still break a lot. I think at some point, it's not gonna, yeah, exactly, 10. 5, 6, for example. Okay, at 6, it's not gonna do anything, for example. I don't know this, if this is a bug or not. I'm gonna test this, but I think it's about the parents. So 1, 2, 3. I don't know the other 2 where they come from, but until 5, for example, the I key is still working, as you can see. So yeah, there are a bunch of things that first I need to understand myself to explain to someone else. Before this passage, I think we need to understand what the software is and what are the limitations of these new features, and then we can explain them to other peoples. And I think it's the same for Yanis. So yeah, that's it. I'm sorry for this TED talk. Okay. Anybody else have any sort of doubt or anything they want to try? So we can test it directly here. For example, now I tested with more than the length that it's possible. So to 5, I think it's gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 probably is a root bone for everything, that it's a ghost one. That is not visible, nor here or directly in this page, but the sixth one is where the length is greater, I think, than the actual model, than the actual parenting thing. So this is my assumption, at least. I'm gonna talk with Yanis about that to understand what's going on, because I'm curious, at least. Because yeah, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, maybe it's gonna take this 2, so 4 and 5 are on the same length, and then the 6th is outside the range. Yeah, assumption. This is an hypothesis, at least. Okay, so, well, I think I didn't want to create any animation today. I wanted to have a simple stream to talk about these stuffs and hopefully have a guide, or at least this, to show people around how to do stuffs on what changed in BlockBench, and hopefully in the future I can create a video. I really hope to be able to create a video about all these things and show around what's improved, because the I key is super useful, for example, and the trail is super useful. The property tab is super useful, and most of the people are not gonna notice that, not even an inch of this. So yeah, I think this kind of live stream, at least in my head, can help people out on how to navigate the new update. But yeah, if you have any other question or anything else, just send a message. Otherwise, I'm gonna end the stream. I don't want to take that too long. But yeah, that's pretty much all. I think all the other features in currently aren't even related with animations. Peace. Yeah, I'm gonna stop streaming. I really hoped that this video was this live stream was helpful for you, or at least fun. I don't know, you might be seeing this live stream while doing something else. It's fine, because yeah, it was just a live stream to stay together, test around with all these features, and see what's happening in BlockBench. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything that YouTubers always did, so don't subscribe, don't set a like on this video, set the bell. Yeah, I'm gonna stop the stream. Thank you very much for watching, for being with me all the stream, even if it was maybe boring compared to other stream I did of animating. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me and bear me. I'm gonna see you next time. Have a nice day.